Welcome to the channel. So I just picked up these Milwaukee Fuel bush trimmers, and I'm just using them for the first time, trimming that bush over there. They cut pretty good, but the question is, can you use this on a professional setting? If you're doing bushes for money, is this a viable tool for you? Pretty interesting setup. It's the Milwaukee ecosystem. The batteries are interchangeable with all their other equipment, their drills and everything, so that's what really attracted me to it. First day with the machine, pretty good, but there's some complaints, and I'm actually comparing it to my commercial bush trimmers by Steel. These aren't the best bush trimmers that you can get from Steel, but they're probably, I would say, the second best. They're really good trimmers, and that's what I've been using for the last few years. But I'm interested in this because this is significantly cheaper. The Milwaukee is significantly cheaper than the Steel, and they're known for having pretty good quality equipment. But the question is it as good as the Steel gas-powered trimmers? So right off the bat, I noticed the blades are a little bit different from what you get with Steel or other commercial trimmers like Echo or Redmax. Looking at the blades, I noticed right away that both sides of the blades are not sharp. It only has one sharpened end. So this part of the blade right here is totally flat, and it's not a sharpened edge. And this part of the blade here is a sharpened edge. Versus the Steel, I don't know if you can see, but the Steel has two sharpened blades. And obviously a little bit bigger cutting ability. I haven't used these Steels to cut any bigger branches because I wanted to keep them sharp as long as possible, even though they're pretty dirty. They've only trimmed bushes, nothing, no sticks or anything. But this here, the openings are not as big. The openings are not as big. And the blade is not both sharpened. I don't know if that really will affect too much of anything, but that's something to think about. Another thing is I think neither one of these are greasable. My Echoes that I have are greasable, but I guess time will tell how that works out. Another thing that I noticed though as well is the bottom of the trimmers for the Milwaukee Fuel. The trimmers are not flat on the bottom. So if you notice here, the Steels, when you set them on the ground, they sit flat on the ground. There's nothing sticking out from the bottom. The blade is flat to the ground, and what that does is allows you to really get on top of the bush and trim really good. This, on the other hand, the Milwaukees, they teeter pretty bad. So if you're really trying to get a flat bush, you have to be cognizant of the fact that this part of the trimmer is going to have to push into the bush in order to get the bar flat up against the bush. The bar is pretty long, so it's not that big an issue, but I mean, it's something to think about. So I think the ergonomics are just a little bit better on the Steel. Using both of them side by side, the Steel has more power, significantly more power. The openings for the blades are bigger, and the blades are double acting. Both sides of the blades are sharp on both ends. And I noticed that the ergonomics in the Steel are a little bit better, and the speed, like you can fly around the bush a lot quicker with the Steels than you can with the Milwaukee Fuels. So some of that also is probably because I'm getting used to the Milwaukees as well, but just having more power, way faster blade speed with the Steels, and what seems to be, as right now, a better blade. But it is nice to run the Milwaukees. They do cut good, as right now. We'll see how long that lasts, but they do cut good, and not having the fumes and the noise and all that stuff is nice. But as far as weight and everything is concerned, they weigh pretty close to the same amount of weight. One thing I don't like about the Steel bush trimmers is the fact that the exhaust comes out of the bottom of the trimmers. So looking at the trimmers, you see right here, this little metal nozzle is actually the exhaust coming out, and what that does is it puts the exhaust straight down. So if you put the trimmers on top of the bushes, then your exhaust ends up coming out of the bottom of the trimmer, and you can burn the bushes. So I'm a huge fan of that. If you're running these real hard and you set them down on dry grass or something like that, you can literally catch on fire, because the exhaust will be real hot and it'll burn. You'll see it start to burn the lawn. So you got to be careful with the steels where you set them down or things like that, because you'll burn up the lawn. With the Milwaukees, obviously that's not an issue because of the fact that there's no gas. But I know other gas power trimmers don't have the exhaust pointed down. I have a pair of Echoes. The steels are also significantly better than the Echoes. They're way lighter, and it's something that you can pick up and you can trim bushes a lot quicker. And that's the thing to think about when you're trimming bushes, is if you got some cheap trimmers, it's gonna make it take a lot longer. But my plan is to try to use the Milwaukees in professional setting. I don't know how it's gonna work out, considering how much cheaper they are than the steels. A pair of steels like this is gonna be well over $500, and that's just for the machine. Whereas this Milwaukee is probably going to be like $300 with the battery that you can use in all your other Milwaukee products. And it's just going to be interesting to see what kind of results I can get out of this thing. I know Steel makes a battery powered equipment, but I would be willing to pay $500 to $600 for a Milwaukee bush trimmer if I can get the power that I get out of Steel. And it's not necessarily the power. I think if it had a comparable blade like the blade found on the Steel, then it would be a more viable product. But I'm going to keep trying it out, and I'm going to see how it goes. But we'll find. I mean, only time will tell. Maybe these will work out for long-term use, but at the price, even if you get a season out of it, maybe 2 seasons, and I don't know, maybe if it's not too hard to switch out the blades, or if it's not too expensive to switch out the blades. That's one of my main concerns, is how long will the blades last. So anyway, I don't know if this is going to be the switch to battery equipment for bush trimming, but we will find out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a great day.